In this video, I'm going to talk about the number one book that I recommend every entrepreneur to read and the number one audiobook that I recommend you listen to. And this is by the same author. So I often get asked the question, because I read a lot of books, I get asked, what are the books you recommend? What book has had the biggest impact on your life? And like, what's the best book ever? And it's a hard question to answer because a lot of the time you will read different books at different points of your life, and sometimes you can read a book multiple times and it will have a different effect on you every single time. And it really depends on where you're currently at. Like, for example, there's this one book, Ready, Fire, Aim, and it talks about a lot of high-level business stuff. And personally, I've only read like the first half of the book because the second half isn't relative to where I'm at right now in business. So another example is when I was doing my Ironman training and triathlon training, there was a lot of books that really helped me, like Why We Swim and Born to Run and Find an Ultra. Like, they were some really good books that helped me during that time. But like, if I read them now, I wouldn't be able to relate to them. And to be totally honest, I don't have much of an interest right now because I'm in a different phase in life. So today I'm going to talk about two books. Here's the first one, and here is the second one, and this one is absolutely massive. And I recommend that you study this book rather than just reading it. And, you know, before I share what this is the only book that I have ever read at my desk. A lot of other books I will read. Right now I'm actually reading everything on my Kindle, so I'll read it from anywhere when I'm traveling, if I'm sitting on the couch, if I'm laying in bed. But this is the only book that I've ever read sitting at my desk because it is so big. It is like just way too big to read in any other place. And you can see it here. It is an absolute monster. It is literally the size of my face. And I think it's about 600 pages, a little bit more. And yeah, it's an absolute beast. So the book is The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. And obviously Napoleon Hill has his OG book, Think and Grow Rich, which is amazing, but I do believe this is a much better book. And this is really just a Bible of everything that you need to know to succeed and to be a great person and to be a great entrepreneur, and ultimately how to just achieve your dreams and become successful. And I'm actually moving apartment and I'm not bringing all of my books with me. And I was like, damn, I wonder if there's like one book that I should bring with me that I can reread and that I can just keep. And I'm going to bring this book with me, the biggest one ever, which will, it will take up a lot of room, but it's a book that I've looked back over so many different times, and I'm going to reread it now as well because it had a massive impact on my life. And yeah, highly recommend it. Like I said, it's an absolute massive book. It's going to take you a long time to read, but it will, if you implement all of the stuff in the book, you will definitely achieve your dreams with the right work ethic and with the right time frame. Now, the next book is by the same author, and this one honestly blew my mind. I only came across this book this year, and literally it was just the wildest book I have ever listened to, and I just couldn't believe what they talk about in this book. And it is Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. It's just so crazy, this book and the story about it. So a bit of context. This book was written by Napoleon Hill back about 70 years ago, and it was never published. He never published a book. Either did his family, because Napoleon Hill apparently had this conversation with the devil, and the devil basically told him that if he published a book, there would be major, major consequences. He never published it. Anyone in his family, none of them published it, and it wasn't published till about 2007, and it was released. Now, I'm not too sure if anything came out about it, but it is absolutely crazy to think about the things that have happened over the last 3 to 5 years, and just looking at history over the last 70 years and what's come true of this book. And just, yeah, the things that they talk about in this book are crazy. I'm actually getting goosebumps right now talking about it. And it's a book that I will listen to every single year. And this is the only audiobook that I really studied, and I played on 1x, and I constantly went back a couple of chapters to make sure that like I really do understand that concept. I definitely recommend listening to it and not reading it, because this is the audio one I have anyways, this yellow one, because the way it was done is, you know, Napoleon Hill is talking and then the devil is talking as well. And it's a really, really good format, similar to how David Goggins records his audiobooks, where there's different people in them. But yeah, I'll leave this video here. Go and read that book, go and listen to that book, and let me know in the comments below what you think about it. Like I said, I have got an abundance of books here, and I've read a lot on my Kindle as well, and listened to even more. But if I was to recommend any, it would be these two by Napoleon Hill, and of course Think and Grow Rich. I have read Think and Grow Rich a couple of times, and I listen to it probably once a year as well. It's great. You always forget different things about it. But yeah, these are some OG ones, and I'm excited to go back over them myself, because every time I do, I learn more. But give these a read. If there's any other Napoleon Hill books that you have read that you recommend, let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more book videos, let me know. I do make a lot of them on here because I just find it easy to talk about, because you can go very deep into one book. But yeah, if any other books you recommend, please do let me know. Have an amazing day. Cheers.